Many thanks for choosing us. This afternoon, Parliament has descended heavily on the General Legal Council, asking it to discard its outdated thinking and open up law school admission process for more students. Some 499 students, after writing the Ghana School of Law entrance exams, were later told they did not make the pass mark. Deputy Majority Leader Fenyo Markins is accusing the General Legal Council of making the study of law unattractive, describing its actions as repugnant. We'll hear from the Deputy Majority Leader, but first, listen to the First Deputy Speaker, Osei Owusu, who has directed the General Legal Council to admit the 499 students who wrote the Ghana School of Law entrance exams, met the 50% threshold, but were denied admission. Osei Owusu also directed the Attorney General to ensure the full compliance of the directive.
Under the General Legal Council Act, the Attorney General is the minister responsible, and the law says that he may give general directions. I hereby direct that the Attorney General shall ensure that this resolution is carried through. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Leader.
Mr. Speaker, even though there's a common thing that we are masters of our own rules, Mr. Speaker, having been groomed in this house from acting ranking to the Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the nation has enjoyed your experience and benefited from it. Mr. Speaker, we are grateful and may you live long.
You are also yes.
Mr. Speaker, without this purpose, Mr. Speaker, I can only say posterity to remember you. Mr. Speaker, history.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Let's proceed.
Mr. Speaker, history will bless you.
Let's proceed.
The laws of this country will remember you, Mr. Speaker. Live long.
Honorable Leader, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have the motion has been moved, seconded, and adopted. Mr. Speaker, what do we do to ensure that the General Legal Council follow and implement the decision that we have just taken? If they fail, what will be the sanctions? So, Mr. Speaker, we should take note of that also.
We are not anticipating that. That's what I'm saying.
Let's now go live to Parliament and speak with my colleague Parker Wilson, who's been monitoring events from Parliament for us. Parker, if you can hear me, tell me, how did the Speaker, or what led to the First Deputy Speaker giving that directive that the General Legal Council must admit the 499 students? Hello, Parker. Parker, I'm asking you to paint a picture of what exactly happened before the First Deputy Speaker gave that directive that the GLC must admit the 499 students.
So, first of all, it was the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Martin, who actually raised the concern on the floor of the House. Now, this was done shortly after he presented the business statement for next week. So, when he was done, he raised the concern about the aggrieved law students who've been denied entry into the law school. His point was clear, that at the time he was a student, there were few of the papers that he really didn't do well. But because at the end of the day, he managed to secure the 60% mark, he was admitted into a law school. So the current action and position or approach adopted by the Legal Council is problematic. In fact, he described the action as repugnant, which must be dealt with immediate effect. And so he pleaded with the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Osei Owusu, who was actually the Speaker's chair, to ensure that at least the right is doing that. It appears members of the House already had issues and had their own concerns about what it is. Particularly, a former member of Parliament also backed Alexander Martin's position. And he actually had a very strong word for the Legal Council. Essentially, he said that what they were doing was which objective is a case, and they need to review the thought process of how they admit to the law school. And still at the first point that medical school or training someone to become a doctor is even more critical than training someone to become a lawyer. Because if you're a doctor, you deal with human life, and you are able to save human life. So if medical doctor or the medical council even has a way of admitting more students into the medical school, why won't the General Legal Council also create a platform or a channel to admit more students into the law school? And so for him, what they are doing is not serving the interests of the nation. And as representatives of the people, it is incumbent upon them to ensure that they compel the General Legal Council to do what is right. And so he agrees with Afenyo Martin that indeed the General Legal Council should, as a matter of urgency, quickly admit the 499 students who obtained the 50% pass, because it's much of dishonesty and insincerity on the part of the General Legal Council. If we advertise 50% pass mark for the student before the conduct of the examination, because for every examination, there are rules that guide the conduct of the examination. And so if you set the conduct of the examination and say that you need to obtain 50% of the pass mark, and they've been able to obtain the 50%, and yet you are using technicalities to disqualify some individuals, then that really marks of dishonesty and insincerity on the part of the General Legal Council. And so his point is go and admit them. So the other members of the House, Mr. Mohammed of Somali Central Constituency, Mahama Yariga, Dr. Nyako of Farasi Constituency, and other members of Parliament who spoke on the floor, expressed the same sentiment. So the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, Osei Owusu, then asked whether they should put the matter to a vote. So by voice vote, but he asked should the motion be admitted on the floor, and the ayes had it. And so the Deputy Speaker then directed the General Legal Council to ensure that the 499 students are admitted. And he proceeded further to charge the Attorney General, because the Attorney General is the minister responsible for that area, the judiciary, that he shall ensure that the directive from Parliament is fully complied with. They do not want any excuses, and they are hoping that within the course of next week, the General Legal Council would do the needful and ensure that the students are admitted into the law school.
The first Speaker of Parliament, if the GLC fails to do this, what do we do? What was the answer of the Speaker of Parliament?
So the Speaker, in his words, indicated that they hope and they believe that the Chief Justice, who is the chairperson of the General Legal Council, will listen to good counsel, will listen to good counsel from Parliament. They do not want to get to the point where they have to cite the General Legal Council for contempt. And the laws of Parliament are clear. If you are in breach of any parliamentary procedure, you will be cited for contempt. And so they hope that they do not get there, because they trust in the Chief Justice that they will listen to good counsel. However, if there is a breach of the directive from Parliament, then Parliament will have no option than to cite the General Legal Council for contempt. But the Parliament is clear that we are not there yet. When they get there, they will cross the bridge.
Parker, what other business have the MPs been conducting in the House?
Well, so, Aisha, one of the topical issues, very controversial issue on the floor of the House is the anti-LGBT bill, which is being sponsored largely by Sam George. Now, the bill, we are learning that next week would be 3 months since the bill was presented to the committee and by extension Parliament. We are told that the members of the committee are even yet to sit for consideration of the bill. And the parliamentary procedure and the Constitution clearly states that a bill should not be with a committee for more than 3 months. And so on the floor of the House today, the Deputy Minority Whip, Ahmed Banda, raised the concern and asked what is being done to ensure that there is not a breach of the Constitution with regards to the 3-month deadline of the bill before a committee. Well, Afenyomakin indicated to the House that the committee sat yesterday and they are looking at roadmaps or the roadmap for the consideration of the bill. So they should be assured by next week that they'll hear something positive from the committee. So largely, the anti-LGBT bill plus concerns about breast cancer and the creating awareness for the cancer also was on the floor when Dr. Yaku raised the issue. Member of Parliament for Parliament also made a statement to the effect that it's important that members of Parliament go to their constituencies and Ghanaians as a whole and medical doctors also give the necessary education, especially to our young women, to understand the essence of constantly checking for breast cancer. And so these are some of the issues that came to the floor of the House today.
Parker Wilson is my colleague in Parliament for us.